As a team leader, you need to repeat yourself until it happens consistently. I'm McLean, and this is Million Dollar Team Principles. If you're like the agents on your team or team leaders around the country, when you were growing up, you were told by a teacher or maybe even a parent, don't make me repeat myself. So this actually goes on in our subconscious as a leader that we shouldn't have to repeat ourselves. And I hear this from team leaders across North America. I shouldn't have to tell my agents to make phone calls. I shouldn't have to tell my agents to role play. I shouldn't have to tell the agents how to write a contract again. But the truth of the matter is, leadership requires the leader to repeat themselves. It's not about saying something new or saying 10,000 new ideas. It's about saying 10 ideas that matter to the company and moving the ball forward 10,000 times. For instance, if I want to initiate speed to lead in my organization, because I see that leads are registering or coming to the company and they don't get called for 24, 48, 72 hours, then I'm going to have a mandate, an initiative as a leader to mention speed to lead over and over and over again at team meetings, in my morning emails, in my one-on-ones with my agents for the next 30, 60, 90, 180 days until I see it consistently. And when I see it consistently, I'm going to acknowledge it by saying it again. I learned this from a mentor of mine one time that was a writer for the Wall Street Journal. And they wrote about stocks and bonds and the marketplace. And that can get kind of boring because how do you come up with a new idea on something that happens over and over again? And what they said stuck with me. I don't say, no one's going to want to read this again. I say to myself, how do I say the same thing differently? So if I want my agents to make phone calls, I can't just say, make more phone calls. You can do better. I have to think of ways to say the same thing again. Now, there's saying the same thing differently and then just saying it over and over again until it happens. Speed to lead, really important. Well, and ask a question to the team. What's the number one thing that we're moving the ball that will move the ball forward in our organization? They should be able to answer your question. Speed to lead. They should be finishing your statements before you end them because you say it so often. So, as a leader, repeat yourself until it happens. And this goes to the core of the company. From the mission to the vision to the core values. They should be able to recite the core values, not because you gave them the core values on day one and asked them to memorize them or look at them, not because the core values are on the wall, but they can actually recite the core values because you say it so often and you tie it to everything. One of the core values at my earliest companies was we are dependable, passionate, and determined. So if I saw an agent or a person on the team exhibiting any level of dependability, being passionate, being determined, I would acknowledge that. So instead of saying, hey, Susan, you had a great month. You sold 5 homes. I would say, hey, Susan, I noticed something. You closed 5 homes, and that tells me something. That tells me that you were dependable because there's no way you can sell 5 homes and not be dependable. I'm sure your clients were calling you at night, or I'm sure your clients needed you to show them a home on the weekend or negotiate an offer in the evening or the wee hours of the morning. And I'm sure you were there for them. And you can't just sell 5 homes by luck or avoiding the industry. You must actually love your clients. You must actually love real estate. You must actually love what you do. And that shows through in your passion and determination. Of those 5 deals, I'm sure you've had offers you wrote that didn't get accepted. I'm sure there was some trials and tribulations and challenges over the home inspection. And you had to be the one that was determined to overcome, because I know clients, it's emotional and they probably needed you to be the one that was most determined. So everybody, our company is dependable, passionate, determined. And Susan, you represent that at the highest level. Congratulations. Give it up for her. So you see how a leader is going to take something that they have to say over and over again, weave it into the story of the company, and move the ball forward. So remember, repeat yourself, get super clear on what you want to repeat until it actually happens. And don't be the one to quit. Don't be the one to, because they haven't changed, be the one that quits by stop saying it again.